No.
All right, 1 second.
Oh,
Just gotta move a couple of things around. Do you have the TVT overlay on still?
Yes.
Okay, you do. Yeah. I almost did. 1 second. Just gotta get a tweet out about this really quick. Live now with the first match. TVZ Best of 7 featuring uThermal versus Catz. Now, what's really cool about this, guys, is you'll notice, by the way, the names here are not uThermal and they are not Catz. This is their ladder accounts. One of the things that the players had to agree to when they signed up for the Battle of the Ladder Heroes was you could smurf, sure, everyone just had to know who it was, but also know barcodes. So if you're looking for these folks on the ladder, you're going to find Mad Mark, you're going to find Gigis, and you can actually track their progress if you'd like. We'll talk more about the actual tournament itself in a moment, but for now, let's do these introductions because it is a best of 7 show match. Spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, we of course have the blue Terran. Going to be uThermal. Okay, Mad Mark.
In the upper right, as the orange Zerg, it's Catz. So Catz just mentioned that he took a game from Pult on this map, I believe.
I could I don't know, man. This map has led to a lot of really weird outcomes. And as much as, like, I think 90% of the time I'll be like, that's great, that's what makes a good map, it's exciting, it's fun, it's different. Something about this just does not strike me as awesome. I don't know. Secret Springs, it's the least picked map out of everything we cast, and it's always got some sort of weird ending. I don't think we've ever seen, like, a normal game on this map.
Yeah, well, do you want to guess what he did versus Pult to win?
Was it a Nidus Worm, most likely?
Yes, but Catz didn't want to admit that, so he said, shh. So yeah, I mean, this is the first thing that we saw when we first cast this map. I remember distinctly because like we were looking at it, we were like, I don't really like it. I mean, did you play on a ladder? Blah blah blah. And then like Nurchio or someone we were casting went for like a Roach Nidus, and I was like, oh well, that's one way to make the map good, I guess. Just like abuse the fact that you get Niduses in.
I want to stress, by the way, guys, we're not calling the map bad or anything. It's just not the same. The layout of the map, the huge mains, it's not the same as every other map in the map pool. Every season's had a theme to it. And okay, maybe some folks will call it bad and that's fine, but objectively speaking, I will say it's been fun, I think is a better word to call it. But, man, I wonder if that would catch uThermal off guard, because it is such a wide main. It's going to be so incredibly difficult to actually have all that information ready and available.
I think it might be worse than Heavy Rain. And Heavy Rain was pretty bad. That was 4 supply depots to cover your entire base. So Nidus are also popular in that. But the thing is that it's this map and it's Catz. Like if he isn't constantly scouting for a Nidus Worm, then I'm judge him so hard.
Yeah, Catz actually, for those, I guess, on the off chance you're not familiar with these players, Catz is kind of known for his shenanigans. Always tends to play this match, or not match, but this game a little bit differently. And I like it though. It's always more fun because of it, I feel. But first drone to fall will go to the Reaper. Ling's gonna be trying to do what they can. There's more Reapers on the way. I mean, a third Reaper on this map. I mean, for all the reasons that you would go 3 Reapers on a map like, say, Catalina, tenfold here on Secret Spring.
Yep. Just a lot of avenues to get up and down. And I mean, even going to the natural, which is usually a suicide move, like think of going to the natural on Van Eye, you're probably going to lose that Reaper. Not so much in Secret Spring. There's still 2 areas to drop down from the natural, so they really can't follow them. So it is a very good move, and it's actually a really short rush distance. One of the first things you learn too is that while it might look like kind of a big map, it's more like if you feel the terrain, you know how clustered it is. It's actually quite short, right to the middle.
Yeah, it's that choke is so weird. But okay, we didn't talk about this. We'll get the little harass going on. It's getting a little out of hand for Catz. Speed still not quite done. There's going to be a $50 prize pool for the winner of this show match. I know that's not a lot of money, guys, but the bigger prize to this is going to be a host from us here on Base Rate TV, and hopefully you, the fans, will make sure to stick around and watch whomever gets the host, because for those who don't know, this is a preliminary show match. I don't know why I said that so funny, leading into a 4-hour ladder grind session from these players. Again, everything about this whole tournament, about this event, whether it's a show match here or a show match there, it's all about trying to promote these players and their streams in order to help them well, get a bit of exposure themselves, but let people know, hey, I'm grinding the ladder. Hey, I'm competing for the top spot, because there's actually a €500 tournament going on at the end of the month for these folks who win the ladder, so to speak.
Well, the Reapers are going to have to get out of there. Speed did finish actually kind of a while ago. there weren't that many links. They weren't that scared. I know the Hellions are coming up. You don't really see Hellions being able to go into the main that often, but again, that's another perk of having so much dead space, is that without a spine crawl, without queens right in that ramp, technically the Hellions can roam around.
Yeah, and that's always a scary thing. I mean, especially with the creep. I mean, you guys were the creep spread still. That's like the worst part about this, right? But couldn't quite get the tumors down earlier with the Reapers providing that pressure. Transfuses, perhaps in contemplation. You know, do I save these or not? But right now for Catz, he's holding on. But there's just no situation where a Zerg player feels comfortable with a Terran in their main posturing, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna just sit here with some Reapers and Hellions."
Yeah. Well, the worst thing about, I feel the worst thing about this is not just, what's pretty obvious worse, right? But that the drone just can't escape. Like, sometimes you're able to get the drone to bypass the Hellions on another map. Yeah, there's only one exit out of this base. You're not going to get a third sneaky leg.
Well, actually, one thing I didn't even consider that was kind of cool. I just assumed, I saw the layer in the production tab, and I assumed Catz was doing it here in his main. He was trying to kind of sneak it in here at the natural. Not a big deal that it was revealed, but something that I think could have possibly gotten away with that information. Now, Spire is on the way, and he can't lose these queens. Mutalisks are so far out. He's got almost no anti-air to work with. He's got Spine Collar, he's got Spore Collars coming down now. All of his queens are battered and injured. Nobody really has transfuses. uThermal isn't exactly on the verge of winning the game just yet, but he's certainly got the tools to deal some very severe damage to Catz.
Well, he's in such a commanding position that, mentally he probably feels he's going to win this game. Maybe. Now, the Banshee might just get the Spine Crawler. There looks to be no transfuse. Nope, no transfuse.
It's like one energy shy on one queen.
Oh, the Banshee ended up dying, which is a little unfortunate because I believe the Natural never got a Spore Crawler and all the queens are at the front. So she could have gotten a lot of kills there, or at least taken all the drones off of mining. How is he to know that?
Well, the scans come down to confirm what's coming up after this. Definitely want to make sure he knew it was a Spire. I mean, he did see the layer, but assumptions made in StarCraft 2 sometimes get you killed. No Night Storm shenanigans coming down just yet. Third base from Catz, though, definitely needs to come out. uThermal's on his way to his own third. Rare instances where that's the Zerg player behind on taking it, but hopefully it's a not delay for too long here.
Yeah. This 2-base layer does not feel like it's as fast as it should be. It's kind of odd, in fact, still waiting on the mutas. There we go. But the mutas aren't hitting that much faster than like a normal macro third base. But we'll see what they can do. Of course, uThermal knows what's going on. He's getting missile turrets. The third might be hard to get. There's no choke to help you out. There's no ramp. Even if you took the other third base, it's still these third base are just awful in general, right? He's just going to need a bigger ground army to make sure that he won't be pounced upon with Lings and Banelings, which Catz doesn't have a Baneling nest yet. He doesn't know that.
Well, yet though, that's the key phrase. So someone asked, how do you win the ladder when it comes to this? We actually have all the Smurf accounts and all the names of the players participated added to a friends list, and basically at the end of the 4-hour ladder grind session today, that's where we have the cutoff each week. I'll take a screenshot of the ladder, we'll go through, we'll see who's first, second, third, and fourth. So for example, Catz might finish 187th on ladder, but really he might be 5th in the tournament because of all the people participating. Snoot, for example, isn't even in Grandmasters League, if you guys can believe it right now. He's been too much traveling, too much everything, and I think he perhaps thought he'd have a little more time to play with when it came to this tournament. But my example for this is basically, it goes by ladder placement of the players involved, not ladder placement overall. So it's not like you get less points because you're 15th on ladder, because being 15th on ladder might actually mean being 3rd overall.
Got it. I understand. But this drop is really weird, just because you know that mutas were out, and there wasn't a whole lot of anti-air.
Yeah, that's always a scary thing, but I'm surprised this Woodmines didn't do a little more damage. I guess you're always only you're guaranteed to only get 2 mutas with that, but I thought the Marines could have gotten Execution or 2 with how low they got.
But there's only 3 Marines, the whole problem. That was a very weird drop. That was the kind of drop that I think would be he just misclicked. Yeah. And that's why he did it. But yeah, because what also happens is the Hellions are going to get stealing with the Lings, and the Lings are the ones that are going to probably counterattack the third command center. In fact, they did go to the left, and this is what I was really afraid of, right? I thought it would happen sooner. Now, uThermal might be completely fine, but 18 Banelings are being morphed in. I mean, if this was happening a minute earlier when he still had production going, we've seen games end like that. Them trying to defend a third, too greedy. But
all the
there's a lot of units. Too. I think it can defend though. Split well, the Hellbats can soak up a lot of the Banelings.
Catz goes in 4 seconds too soon. He's almost got Baneling speed. I feel like this was a huge mistake.
Yeah, I just assumed that it was on the tab at all, but yeah, that is an absolutely huge mistake. And he also went in just a little bit too soon without the lings as well. Those lings are supposed to stop the Terran from being able to split too effectively. It was just all types of bad, and what should have maybe taken on 75%, or maybe if he's lucky, the entire army, took down barely anything.
I am a little bit worried about that for Catz, but I like what he also did too on the back end of this. Knocks down the rocks, so it's not like there's going to be this big push of a follow-up immediately. uThermal will have to take time to actually knock down one of the walls somewhere on the one of the 3 locations on the map to traverse.
I mean, usually, again, we do not see this map that often. It's always vetoed. So, you know, seeing thirds is kind of rare. But seeing also what the attack path is going to be from the Terran is interesting.
How do you feel about seeing a lot more Hellbats than Widowmines, by the way? Still producing
I think it's... If he's planning on going through the middle, it might be very effective. Again, Widowmines are kind of hit or miss, right? But Hellbats in a choke are always going to soak up a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, there could be some very favorable engagements, but the other thing I'm a little bit worried about is if there's a lot of Hellbats and really not a lot of Widowmines, that's going to be a clear sign for Catz to go heavy on the mutas. We don't see players do that really much anymore because between Widowmine shots, Thor shots, and Marines themselves, it's really hard to actually capitalize with your own Mutalisks. But if you've got everything stacked up going for you, I would say absolutely. With, you know, 30 potential supply in Hellbats, that's a lot of things that can't shoot up.
That is true, but the problem I think that uThermal might have identified was that, you know, Catz's third was laid, his fourth was only now put down. His gas mining really hasn't been the greatest, and we can see it on the mineral and gas tab that's proven here. He's a lot of minerals, not a lot of gas. So first he's going to need a lot of mutas, and then to really take down the army, like when you finally decide to push, you're going to need a lot of banelings against those Hellbats. Like, mass banelings is pretty good.
That scan, though. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I was like, those banelings are actually brought pretty nicely. But spread and split ahead of time. uThermal's going to not take massive baneling damage here. At least you really are for Catz, but you know, when you've got about 80 banelings, I guess it doesn't matter as long as you can get some connections. More Marines on the backside, though. Good splits. Mutalisks are all that's left, and Catz in a lot of trouble now.
Entirely off of creep. That just went super, super poorly. He got rid of the splash, you know, most of the Hellbats, I suppose. Oh, there's actually still 5 left, so maybe not. But that, again, the lack of gas. That was the one big baneling count he's going to have. He's got 12 more on the way, bringing up to a total of 21. Still not a lot.
Yeah. This is looking really hard for Catz. I mean, the army supply, too, is just halved at this point. We've always seen banelings level out a game pretty quickly if they can get those connects coming from the backside. But look at these splits out of uThermal. You know, he's got a second account. He names himself uThermal, but with this control, I'm starting to understand why.
Wow. Well, this was just... We shouldn't be praising uThermal, right? That much. He definitely played a very good game on Secret Spring, which is an odd match.